Hello friends, welcome back to Cooking with Claudia. Today I'm showing you how to make beef pot roast. I made this in my slow cooker. The meat came out very tender and juicy. This is such a delicious and comforting dish for this time of the year. All ingredients and measurements will be in the description box. Let's get started. Alright you guys, I am using 2 huge pieces of chuck roast for this recipe. When you get your chuck roast, make sure they have a lot of fat marbles running through them because the fat is going to make them extra juicy, tender, and more flavorful. I am going to season the chuck roast with some spices. I'm using salt and black pepper to taste, some oregano, cumin, chili powder, garlic, and onion powder. I'm mixing everything together, then I'm going to season my meat very generously on both sides. It's good to season and pack your chuck roast with some very good spices because they're very huge pieces of meat, and if you don't season them well, they'll come out with no flavor. And make sure you pat the seasoning into the meat just like I'm doing, that way it can stick very well. Once you're done seasoning, you can set the meat aside to soak in all those flavors while you prep your other ingredients. So off camera, I went ahead and chopped up some carrots into big chunks, an onion, and some celery. We're going to saute the veggies, so I have my cast iron pan heating up over medium-high heat. I'm drizzling in some olive oil, and as soon as the oil gets hot, I am adding the vegetables. I'm seasoning the veggies with a little bit of salt and black pepper. Then I'm cooking them on medium-high heat for about 5 minutes to caramelize a little. Once the veggies have cooked for 5 minutes, they're going to smell really good. At this point, I'm adding 6 cloves of minced garlic. I'm going to saute the garlic for about 30 seconds until it gets fragrant. Then I'm going to transfer the sauteed veggies into my slow cooker. Taking the extra step to saute the veggies before dumping them into the slow cooker is going to bring out their flavor better, therefore adding more flavor to the recipe. The veggies are going to be like a bed of flavor for the meat to sit on. Next, in the same pan, I am adding some more oil. Then as soon as the oil gets very hot and smoky, I'm going to sear the meat one at a time. I'm searing on medium-high heat for 3 minutes on one side. Then I'm going to turn it over and sear it for 3 more minutes on the other side. We're looking for a nice browned crust just like that. That's going to add so much flavor to the pot roast. Once the meat is seared, remove from the pan and set aside for later, then repeat the same process with the other meat. Next, we're going to place our beautiful meat onto the bed of vegetables in the slow cooker. The next thing we're going to do is whip up a delicious sauce for the pot roast, and all these brown bits in the pan will pack the sauce with so much flavor. I'm tossing in some butter. Then as soon as the butter has melted, I'm going to add some all-purpose flour. The flour will help thicken the sauce. I'm going to cook the flour for about a minute just to cook out that raw flour taste. Then I'm adding some red wine. The wine will add a nice touch of flavor. The alcohol will cook out eventually because the pot roast will be cooking for a very long time. But if you don't want to use red wine, you can use some extra chicken broth, which brings us to the next ingredient. We're adding chicken broth. Go ahead and mix everything together and let the sauce cook for about a minute until it thickens just like this. Then I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce, some tomato paste, and brown sugar. Go ahead and mix everything together, then let the sauce simmer for about a minute for the flavors to come together, and the aroma from the sauce is just incredible. Next, you're just going to pour your scrumptious sauce all over the meat and veggies. I like to give the slow cooker a little shake for the sauce to get in there. And for extra flavor, I'm topping the meat with some bay leaves and fresh herbs such as fresh thyme and fresh rosemary. Once that is done, I'm going to place the lid over my slow cooker, then cook the meat on low for 8 to 10 hours. The pot roast is now ready. I cooked mine for 8 hours and my home has been smelling so good. I'm going to get rid of all the herbs. We don't need them anymore. They've done their job. You have to let the pot roast rest for about 10 to 15 minutes before serving. You can use that time to skim all the excess oil sitting on the top. I was able to get rid of a good amount of the oil. The pot roast came out very flavorful. The flavor is insane, and it's so tender it falls apart very easily. The pot roast came out very delicious. This is such a comforting dish for fall and winter. It's so good. If you guys would like to make this, check the description box. I'm gonna leave all the ingredients and measurements there.